Ma'am, you're on mute actually. Yeah.
Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Very good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Nikita Sharma, pursuing second year Bachelor's of Commerce. Guru Shri Shanti Vijay Jain College for Women deems it as a privilege in organizing the virtual external guest lecture program on e-management, faster and cost effective. On behalf of our college, I feel extremely glad to render a hearty welcome to you all. As light removes darkness, so prayer removes ignorance. Let us commence this informative and beneficial session by seeking the Almighty's blessings. A warm welcome makes an occasion more special. May I request Dr. Vishalachi ma'am to all and read the credentials of a permanent guest of honor.
Thank you, Nikita. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Dr. Salakshi, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Guru Shri Shanti Vijay Jain College for Women, Chennai. It is my immense pleasure to welcome our esteemed guest of honor, Mrs. Sanka Indrani, ACS, MBA, LLB, Practicing Company Secretary, Chennai, for the state level webinar on the title E-Management, Fast and Cost Effective, is organized by the Commerce Department of Guru Shri Shanti Vijay Jain College for Women. Hearty welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It's my great honor to extend a hearty welcome to our Honorable Secretary, sir, and our respected Principal, madam, for this program. It is my duty to welcome our fellow faculty members and beloved students who belong to JSS and other various parts of our state. Now it's time to introduce our renowned guest of honor to the gathering. I'm extremely delighted to take this opportunity to introduce our guest of honor, Mrs. Sangha Indrani. Her educational background includes ACS, MBA, LLB, and pursuing MSc in Applied Psychology. She is a qualified company secretary and lawyer and having 13 years of rich experience in secretarial, legal, audit, taxation, and RBI and FEMA compliances. We are greatly honored with the presence of our guest of honor, Ms. Indrani, practicing company secretary, Chennai, in our midst today. Thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and gracing this session. I once again welcome you all and thank you. Thank you.
It's a privilege to honor a prominent chief guest with a memento of appreciation. May I request Dr. Vishalachi ma'am to felicitate our guest of honor and memento of appreciation.
Thank you, ma'am.
It is the time to acquire knowledge. May I take the pleasure of requesting our guest of honor, Mrs. Shanka Indrani, ACS, MBA, LLB, practicing company secretary and lawyer, to take over the session and enlighten our minds with her inspiring lecture. Over to you, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you all for your warm welcome. And good afternoon to all who are having a Saturday afternoon. For you all to listen to a session. But the topic is not new to you all, which is already you have been using it in your day-to-day life. So I'll try to keep it as interactive as possible with your support and cooperation. So before we could start with e-management per se, like, can anyone of you all tell me what is management? You could actually put it in your chat, or you can come on your, you can unmute your mic. I expect some answer at least. Could anyone of you all tell me what management is all about? You don't need to give me a definition, but something about what is it all about? Some messages, some drops. I am looking forward for it to be more interactive, so it'll be easier for us to take it forward and to keep it more lively. Okay, let me take it. The management is defined by Henry Fayol, which means to manage is to forecast and to plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and to control. In layman terms, it's a process of administering and controlling the affairs of an organization. So just give me 1 minute. So that's what is management all about. So when we actually use about e-management, so to start with, I am actually going to divide the whole session into different parts. So your first part will be how e-management is actually there in your individual's life. And then the second part would be how it is there within the family. What are we going to do? How are we going to use it? And the third part is at a smaller scale businesses, how they are actually using the e-management. And then we go forward with saying how the bigger organizations are actually using e-management. And then we see how the regulators are actually trying to do this. And there is something else which is much more important and topic which I would actually like to cover at the end. So just remind me when it actually comes up over there. So this is how the whole session is going to be divided. So the first part, coming to the initial stage of how e-management is going to be there in an individual person's life. So when you take, every one of us use mobile phones. All of us have mobile phones, and it has actually become a day-to-day a part of our body. And so what are all the purposes or the uses for which you use a mobile phone? Gone are those days when you say that you're using a mobile phone for just calling or messaging or texting. So now it has gone to the next level of, okay, which mobile phone has a better camera? Can I put some reminders over there? So your reminder setting is actually in e-management. Then you have something which says that An alarm, you want to get up in the morning, so you go for an alarm setting to wake you up. So that again is e-management. You're managing your time, and you organize and keep your photos in your camera as an album wise. And then the modes of communications are much more, where you actually try to do everything sitting at a single place. So as an individual, you are already doing an e-management through your phone. And when you come at a family level, so let's take the second part at a family level. So what are all the things that your family is actually using the e-management? So you have something, tutorials which are actually coming up, online classes, online tutorials, which most of them who are at home are using. And then you have this online payments which has actually taken a lot of stress relief, you can say, instead of going and standing in the queues in the banks or at your service centers or places where you actually had to pay the amount. So you actually have online payments, which is your GPay or Paytm or net bankings, which have actually come up. And you can actually set timings, set dates when you actually want to. So that's how they are managing. And most of the people who are at home are trying to do these TikTok videos, Instagrams, and these are a couple of things for which people at home, whether be it households, wives, or be it small scale people who are trying to use the e-management as such. In short, so how do you define e-management? Can we actually say e-management is a digital management? Because everything is going through online. So how did this e-management actually come in? So what facilitated? If there was one small thing, then the e-management would not have been this successful. And the base is your internet. So the growth of the internet, the rapid growth, I'll put it as the rapid growth of the internet, which paved a lot of way for e-businesses. And for managing the e-businesses, there has to be an e-management, where to do this, they used all the e-technology, e-services, e-resources. All these have been put together to actually do this e-management. And why was it done? For the business to be more, for the growth and sustainability of both the business and the economy. So the government also has started to concentrate a lot on going into online, digitalizing things, which we'll see it at a later part as we had divided the segments. So, like, let us actually see. So, what are a couple of online businesses and e-management or e-businesses which we very frequently use? So, probably you have something as a shopping sites. You have a lot of shopping sites. You have individual shopping sites for garments. You have separately, and then you have for toys. You have for babies, for elders. It's segregated. It's just growing. That's just one part. And biggest giant is Amazon's, which all of us would have bought something or the other from it. Amazon, Flipkart. Now you have this Meeshos and stuffs which are coming in, which are giving us competitive prices than the regular Anganwadi shops, whatever we have outside. Then there's normal supermarkets also, be it pulses and everything. So you have this online shoppings which actually go on. And then these online businesses for management. So what does the internet, how does the internet actually use for this e-management? So they give you space, a free space. Suppose if you have a Gmail account, the Gmail gives you a free space in your drive to actually store a particular or store any kind of data of a particular size. So when it exceeds a size, they will ask you to pay on a monthly basis or on an annual basis. So you have drivers. So these drives help you in sharing the data. You have Google Calendars, which will help you to remind. The mails by itself, which is actually a bigger part, without which you can't even think of doing a business or even your day to day life is actually sticking onto mails. So, in case if you're going to get any communication from the college to yourself, it's going to be through mails. Any certificates or any online results that you want to see, everything is on internet. So with the rapid growth of internet, all these have started to come in place, and they even help you to share a couple of applications which is there in one particular system. So you don't need to buy an application or a hardware per se to actually use it. You can use it being from anywhere. So these are all certain things of actually e-businesses or online business or e-management is actually facilitated in e-management and their growth. So let us see the third part, which is actually how does it actually impact the smaller scale business. So when you take the smaller scale business, the one that comes to my mind is micro, small, medium enterprises. Okay, these are they're trying to manage their business with a minimum cost effort and in an effective manner. In addition to this, the government gives a lot of subsidies and they do a lot of training for the upliftment of these kind of societies. Why are they actually so important actually? Because they are the future growth of the business. So everyone cannot start a business at a larger scale. So you need someone who starts at a smaller scale as such. And that's why these people who are actually interested, who have innovative ideas, who know how to manage the business, are actually being given a lot of importance. And with this online businesses and e-managements coming into place, they have a lot of confidence within them as to how it can be actually scaled up, how they can actually grow further, and what are the other things that they could actually do take it forward, take the business more successful and profitable. So, what are a couple of examples of MSMEs or small scale businesses? What we would have seen, we would have seen on every streets of us when we actually go forward. We see someone who is starting up a vegetable shop, someone who is actually do has a supermarket, a little bigger one, or a smaller supermarkets, or someone who would have started a car accessory shop, or a cycle parts or a cycle shop, a resale shop, call centers, labs. With COVID, a lot of them have started labs actually, handicraft shops, animal husbandry, so or some painting, grills. So all these are like small, and these people can actually register with the ministry to get additional benefits or also. So we are actually trying to see how these people can actually try to inculcate or adopt the e-management process from transforming into a classical management to a system driven management that will facilitate them to grow much faster without needing to have any additional manpower or additional cost. So how does it help? It helps in being available. So availability, the performance of the business will grow. The capabilities, there is a change in security. You have a lot of opportunities which you will try, and you know how to manage during a catastrophic scenario. So, like speaking about a catastrophic scenario, let me ask you one question. Have you seen how your parents, friends, students, teachers, or employees, or anyone whom you know had managed during this COVID period? So, what have they done? How did they manage? There were lockdowns, people were not able to go to the offices. There were no schools for you guys actually. It was all work from home and online classes is what you guys would have actually seen. So how did you manage? How did you overcome? Don't you think it all had e-management in it? So that's primarily we have been actually seeing e-management everywhere. Just that we would not it would not have striked us that okay, this is also forming part of e-management. That's the only thing that would have actually happened. So when you see, so how did first let us start with students. How did the students do your online homeworks, online assignments? You complete your homework, you send a mail or a photocopy of it to your teacher or to your ma'am, and then they actually check it out and rectify it. You have on, and when you go to the, with regard to employees, you had online meetings, which was actually being done. It was all virtual offices where you work from home. So life had taken a drastic turn at that time because we Indians were so much into actually having a physical office. And we're so used to actually going to the offices in the morning and then coming back. And then later on is what during this pandemic, where most of them have realized the cost difference that has actually incurred when you're actually doing a physical office and a virtual office, because your rental, your electricity, your housekeeping, everything would have reduced to a larger extent. So, yes, we are moving to a more digitalized form of managing things. Because only when you know to manage it, being at any place, that's how you can grow at a rapid speed. So, there are a lot of companies also which give free software for a limited period of time. And that period is called as the trial period. And after which, depending upon the size of the usage, the and the period, it is being charged. So couple of the softwares which helped. So couple of the software that actually help the students or teachers or others during these difficult situations were one, which is your Zoom meetings or your team meetings or the Adobe. The Adobe is a PDF software. And then you have a software which is called as a box, which is a cloud content collaboration which helps you to store data. You have these AnyDesk and TeamViewer softwares, which actually, just a minute. So you have software as AnyDesk and TeamViewers. So you have softwares which are kind of AnyDesk and TeamViewers. So what does this AnyDesk or a TeamViewer do? Actually, you can access another system sitting in one place. So you don't need to actually go into in line to another person's place to actually do a particular work. And you have another one which is a Dropbox, which most of them have been using for cloud storages. So these are a couple of things which softwares which are being provided. Few are free, few are actually chargeable after a particular period of time. So like now, we have seen what is e-management, the purpose of e-management, how is it actually beneficial and so. So when you see the transaction to e-management from a physical management covers three essential stages. And these stages have to be actually taken into account by all the organizations or even by the individuals when we're actually doing. The first thing is it should not affect a regular course of business or a regular activity. None of us would actually want anything to be affected on a regular basis. So it should not affect a regular activity or regular business. At the same time, when we are actually adopting it, it should be much faster. So you access the office and the activities of the business or an organization with the use of e-technology, online research. You do an e-management, ensuring the active participation of all the employees, thereby increasing the productivity. And second thing is it should actually pave way for a lot of new avenues and channels. So if I'm going to go with e-management, it should be something beneficial to me. I cannot just say that okay, I am adopting e-management, so that's fine. No, you don't need to do anything unless it is actually beneficial for you. So that's how it has to be. So how is it actually beneficial for you? So that's something which you have to look at. So it could be by growth, by giving you new opportunities in the business, giving you new clients, or in case of an individual saying that it actually minimizes your time or saves a lot of your time, which you would have been spending if it is going to be in a physical form. So these are a couple of things which you can actually analyze. And then the e-management revolution. It paves way for the what happens to the e-management revolution? Let me ask you that. So when everything is going to go e, so then you need a lot of softwares. The same software will not be actually applicable after a couple of time, maybe because of the usage or the requirement. So it gives a lot of opportunity for new softwares to come in, new innovations to come in. So these are a couple of things which actually helps in e-management revolution, which actually comes forward. So this with regard to transforming. And when you see how is e-management in an organization at a larger scale, apart from whatever we have covered so far, let us see in organization how else can it be done. So let's during this COVID, as we had actually discussed, or any pandemic, any catastrophic scenario, it is like all the meetings can be done online. You have various apps, Google Meets, you have Zoom. A lot of them are actually coming up, and which have come up only during this period to meet the requirement. And how is this voting done again? You have this voting or show cause hands or showing or displeasure. There are various methods. Suppose if you're going to even send a mail asking for an approval, you have flags where you can say approved, disapproved, or you can give your own justification or an explanation. This is how it actually goes. And then you have a lot of compliances software that actually come up. You have a lot of management softwares that are there to ensure timely compliance and regulate timely compliance of internal as well as regulatory compliances. So, what are a couple of softwares which are actually useful in an organization, which is your business invoicing software, your asset management, your customer relationship management, your word processing, your supply chain management, database, accounting softwares, which are your Tally, Oracle softwares, and the organizations can build their own in-house software depending upon their own requirements. So you don't need to actually always buy a software per se. Okay, let's come to the next part of the topic where we were speaking about e-management, faster and cost effective. So we have seen something about faster. And like when you look at the cost effectiveness, all this while we have been saying how is beneficial, what to do, how is it going to be uh, how is it going to improve our lifestyle and the economy business per se. So when you see everything is fine, so like now what's the cost? So that's something which most of us would actually want to look at. So when you look at the cost, so we're trying to implement a new enterprise content management solution, which is a ECM. Most of the organization would always focus on determining a cost effective solution. For this purpose, the current cost and the new document management system cost are to be considered by every organization. The current cost includes the document storage cost, which is your warehouse or a file room or a filing cabinet, shelves, or other hardwares which you actually have to buy for maintaining these or storing these documents. And then you have the document creation cost, which is nothing but your paper cost, your toner cost, your printing cost, your shipping of supplies, and others. And then you have the document handling cost, which is the manpower that is actually required for handle the courier charges, what is there in case if you have to do, and the maintenance and destroying of the outdated files. So these are the basic costs which you will be incurring. So which is your document cost, your document creation cost, one is your document storage cost, creation cost, and your handling cost. So while you are actually doing this new management system, what are the costs that are actually involved? So there is a basically which is called as an implementation cost. So when you're actually trying to implement any new software, which is your document management softwares, you have to obtain a license, which is an initial cost. And based on your renewable, it will become a recurring cost. So that is a cost which for sure you have to use in case if you want to implement a new management system cost. And the second thing is that you have to purchase some, there may be additional cost of changing the business process when you're implementing a software for the purpose of actually changing the business process, and there would be much more additional costs that would be involved. Then integrating document management software with the existing infrastructure will reduce the cost to a small extent. And then so first is your implementation cost that come into place, and then is your usage cost. You have a software, but you have to train people, which is your users and the administrators, to know how it works. So there is a training cost that is actually involved. And then you have the maintenance cost. So maintenance cost is on a periodical basis, you actually try to take backups of all the data. And it even includes hardware maintenance. Okay, so this is basically the new. So the cost would include implementation, usage, and maintenance. So these are the three costs. And while doing this, you even actually run a testing period, analyze it, you ensure that the new software that is being implemented is in line with your existing business, and then you take it forward. So a couple of them would be your HRMS software, which are your human resource management softwares, your oracles, which will come in the place of your existing finance tally or something. You try to bring an oracle and it goes on. So it depends upon organization to organization, depending upon what you actually want to implement. So the cost effectiveness with improved efficiency and productivity is considered and analyzed while going digital. So what are the e-management softwares? It is very important to choose the right software for the right business, making sure that the business management software and the company management systems are are having the same features. So what is it? So you are looking to the profit and the task management, the time that it takes, the file storage capacity and the document sharing options, invoicing and budget management, resource management, any other business specific requirements depending upon your industry or business. So there are few ERPs or softwares or apps that are commonly used. So one which I believe most of you all would already be aware of is your WhatsApp. So all of you all are using a WhatsApp. So what all do you do in a WhatsApp? You share data, you actually speak, you share photos, you take some decisions, or you have group conversations, group calls. So WhatsApp has gone from mere connecting people to managing your individual life, connecting with me most number of people as such. So and without WhatsApp running for one single day also, it is as if we are losing a major part of our life. So we say, okay, let me actually get this WhatsApp reinstalled again. And even you have a WhatsApp onto your laptop, you download it, so you actually have a WhatsApp connectivity both on your mobile as well as on your laptop when you download the app. So it has already become a day-to-day part of our life. And the next thing is your the other ERPs or softwares or apps which we commonly use are your Word, Excel, PowerPoints, which is nothing but which is being provided by Microsoft and various other vendors for facilitating and managing things in a better manner. Imagine putting 1,000 row data and trying to calculate. It's not easy. The statistics will not have been easier. So right now, if you take for calculating anything with the larger volumes, these are our blessings. The apps, the ARPs, the softwares are all a blessings to us actually. There are other softwares which is like, something which is called as a proof hub. So what do these do? The Proof Hub is a platform where it sorts through the cluster and visualizes the everyday task in a much easier manner. It helps in task management, online discussions, time management, file management, and it helps you to track the progress of a particular task. And then you have this Outlook, which most of them are using. What does this Outlook do? It helps you to send emails to each other, which facilitates in carrying on your businesses. Most of you would have heard about this Zoho. There are a lot of advertisements which are going on with Zoho. What is a Zoho? And it has come up, or we have started to see this to a larger extent during this COVID time. So Zoho is a wholesome business management software and a company management system that has everything you need to run your business on the operating system for your business with impressive business apps. You just need to connect multiple apps so that different teams can work together productively. What are the actual top features of Zoho is it helps you to manage almost every aspect of your business in one particular system. It fosters collaboration with online document storage and sharing. And it helps you to automate personalized business workflow. So that is what Zoho actually does. And you have another one which you had have actually heard about is Scoro. Scoro is all-in-one business management software designed to bring your team projects, sales, and reports together at a centralized place. It is much similar to Zoho. With Scoro, you can manage work more efficiently and be organized in every aspect of your business. It mainly actually helps you in planning and tracking work with unlimited projects. It helps you to manage quotes, contacts, and invoices seamlessly. Track time and bill for completed work accurately and manages your entire business within a single solution. And you have other online softwares which help you to create free videos. Apart, I'm just giving only a small gist of what it is. And there are a lot more softwares than what I am actually trying to say. You have softwares which help you to do free videos. You have softwares which actually help you to convert the documents from Word to PDF, PDF to image, image and back to anything else actually speaking. You have software which will help you to compress to any size that you actually require. You have apps for actually editing, Photoshops, and so on. So all these have made actually your uh, managing things or managing data, managing all these in a much easier and a flexible manner. And it's much easier than what how it used to be compared earlier. When you actually look at, as told you, we'll be actually dividing, and the last part, dividing the whole presentation into different segments, and we are at the last one, which is your regulatory compliances. Right. So let's see now. Like, yes, I have software, or first I have a physical one, and then from physical I have moved into e-management, and for e-management I have bought some softwares. Why do I need to do all this? Any management would have this concern. Why should I do? I incur a cost also, further cost to do this. Yes, it may be a bit cost effective for me, but what is the purpose of doing it? Moving from age old practices. So then you actually look into something which is called as the amount of compliance, the regulatory compliance has increased over a period of time. So the ERPs or the applications and the software implementation by the organization, which facilitates timely compliance with both statutory and internal compliances also. So this is how it works. So what are the mandatory compliances which are actually being done right now is your RBI, your income tax, your GST, your MCAs, or your codes or NCLTs or etc. So what compliances are there over here? You have your registrations, applications, online filings, returns, your hearings, or issue post notices, responses. Everything is actually made online right now. You don't need to go to any regulatory or authority per se in person unless there is a real major concern on it. So, and they are moving from paper to digital in almost everything. For example, if you just take how is your ration card currently? It's not that old book which we used to get over here where we have all the names. No, it's not that old book. Right now, it is actually moved. It's a small smart card which we actually get right now. And if you take your RC book, it's not like that old RC book which we used to have. It's again a card. You have your ATM cards which are wireless tap cards, you call them as. Okay. And if you take the registrations, what happened at the registrar offices, you don't need to go and stand in queue fixing up a date. You can fix up a slot now. So, and your registration will get over within that particular slot. You cannot go before or after. So if they say 1 hour, it's just 1 hour. The best example of digital management is Tirupati Devasthana. Your queue that you actually used to stand earlier for 6 hours or 7 hours, it's not there now. You just fix up your slot and it's done. So how is it done? It's nothing but e-management. So all these actually facilitate. And even during this time, a couple of hearings also have been done online. So to that extent, e-management has taken a very vital role in every place, everyone's life. So there are few things actually. If anyone can recollect how the budget papers were brought to the parliament while presenting it during this year. So I don't remember seeing any hard bounded papers being brought for the budget. It was a small iPad that was actually bought or a notepad and it was actually read from it. So things have moved. Government is also moving digital because that's easier to maintain and to retrieve data and to organize the data. And if you can see how our Prime Minister has started this Man Ki Baat program, he is trying to go online, digital, managing things online, asking people. So again, he's not sitting at a particular place and saying, okay, I let me see people, let me get some summons or let me get some queries or requests or then I will act. No, he goes forward. He tries to have an interactive. So he uses technology to have an interaction with the citizens. And any mail you send to him as a complaint, you definitely get a response from him. So to that extent, it is being actually managed. And to that extent, he is also giving a lot of importance to e-management. And if you just take how are your queries being raised right now to the corporations or to statutory authorities or to the government, even to the corporation office, you don't need to go in person nowadays. A single mail will do. You have something as customer query, customer complaints, service complaints. Every regulatory authority has it. So gone are those days where you have to take a small paper with your queries or with your appeals and then to go. No, it's not at all required right now. Everything is e-management, which you actually should say it's a blessing for us in this today's era. And there are 2 points which I would actually like to cover in this. Probably of late, most of them would have been hearing about the word cryptocurrencies. So, cryptocurrency is again nothing but your digital currencies, which government is also trying to regulate them. Right now, there is no regulatory body for that, so they are trying to bring in rules and regulations for regulating it, and government would take it up as an accepted form of currency at any point of time. So again, your whole currency by itself is going to go digital from your papers, which we are actually using. And I did read a couple of days back to actually make the rupee notes, to make a textbook. Actually, I just read this. I would like to share it with you so that all of us will know how much of or how we are using a paper or the efficient manner of using it probably. So to create one notebook, I read that we actually use the barks of 4 trees. And if you're just going to scribble a notebook and throw it away without properly utilizing it, we are actually killing 4 trees. And how many trees are we planting again is something which none of us know. So I'm actually happy that we are going digital. So we need not actually get into the afforestation probably, which we can actually term it as. And there is something else, another topic which we are actually hearing of late is digital gold. You don't need to buy hard gold coins or gold bars to store it in your house anymore. You have this digital gold. Yes, it is not being given by the government, but you have private ones who are giving, but it is per se being regulated. So you can actually buy the digital gold of any value on the online, and those people, the sellers, will actually store it in trust on your behalf. And when you ask, they will give, or you can actually sell it off without getting onto your hands, so that you can ensure the safety of your digital gold. You don't need to worry about your locker cost or the theft fear or anything. So there are a couple of things which have actually come up. And there is one important point which I was telling you in the beginning, which I would actually cover at a much later part of the session, is while we are moving into digitalization, we have to concentrate on a much wider and sensitive topic, which is compliance of the Indian and global laws on security and privacy. Why is it so important? Why am I actually speaking about it in an e-management? Yes, it forms part of e-management. When I am doing everything over e-management, I collect a lot of information pertaining to the company, myself, people around me, being the customers or my family people or anyone. Everything is stored online on an internet or shared through internet, shared through a connectivity. So rest be assured, none of this data is going to be safe. There is a there, sh- there are laws globally and Indially which actually regulates the security and privacy of all these. But to a larger extent, once any particular data is actually uploaded, even if it is being deleted, it is still there at the back end at some place within this net. And anyone who are actually much equipped can always retrieve. So when you share anything, when you collect any data, it's safer not to do it on social medias or through any other means, even without social medias or through online, basically. Even if you delete a mail or a photo or a conversation, it is still available in case if you have to see it at a backend. It will be there. So it is very important when we are moving towards e-management to understand the risk also which it carries along with it. And that's why there are a lot of Indian and the global laws which actually concentrate on the security and the privacy, and we just call it the security and privacy laws. So this is how it is actually done. If you can recollect another one more scenario which I would actually add on over here is you get these calls from various banks or from land sellers who say we have a land over here, would you like to buy? But then whereas if you see, you would not even have gone to that particular state or place, but how did they get your number? Because all the information which were being shared to the bankers or someone is being transported, or another particular agency is taking it over, which is not safe for us. And if you just could recollect the bankers or the customer cares of the bankers calling us and asking, see, we're calling from so and so bank, would you like to take a loan from us? So, how do you handle that again? So, there are places where the information of yours is being leaked out without your consent itself. And that's something which you actually have to be very careful of. And then I would like to actually conclude. I would like all of you all to think about the importance of e-management even from a personal perspective. And I would like to conclude this saying using business or technology supported or embedded management approaches to streamline your daily task is a need of the hour. E-management not only assists you in improving your skills, but it also brings balance, efficiency, security to many of your business procedures. Further, it is also e- easy for handling storage efficiently and retrieving any kind of data, documents, and information without need for an additional physical space and timely compliance of the statutory requirements. At the end of the day, everyone wants a more successful business and a happier employees, which can only be achieved through a proper management. And so, e-management actually plays a very vital role in each and everyone's life of ours. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can always reach out to me. I'll share my number to your to Dr. Vachala ma'am, so you can reach out to me at any point of time. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
It is the time for interaction. Spectators who have any queries can type in the YouTube live chat. So there's no questions. I would like to take this session to an end. Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring lecture. Thankfulness is best form of courtesy. I request Komal Chain of 2nd BCom to propose the vote of thanks.
Oath of thanks. Thankfulness is the best form of courtesy. On behalf of GS Jain College Foreman, I take this opportunity to propose the oath of thanks. I firstly thank the Almighty God whose grace has made the guest lecture webinar successful. I express my heartfelt thanks to our guest of honor, Mr. Sankar Indrani, who has presided over the session and enabled us to acquire knowledge. We felt that it was highly beneficial to us. I extremely gratitude cus- I extremely my gratitude to our correspondent Dr. Gautam P. Vaichar and our principal Dr. M.K. Malku ma'am for their guidance and support. I convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Gayatri ma'am and Dr. Visalachi ma'am for her efforts in arranging this program. I also express my special thanks to all the faculties who have joined from us GSS Jain College and other institutions. It's my duty to thank all the fellow students and for their participation. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.